Happiness isn't only a mood. It's partly built by what you repeatedly do. A few simple habits physically nudge your brain toward it. Here they are. Most people wait for happiness to arrive. They treat it like weather, something that shows up when life finally calms down. But your brain doesn't work that way. Your brain is shaped by repetition. Every action you repeat carves a slightly deeper groove in your neural wiring. That process is called neuroplasticity, your brain physically reshaping itself around what you do most. So the daily habits you barely notice are quietly building the mood you live in. The good news is that a few small habits, done consistently, can tilt your brain chemistry toward calm, motivation, and quiet contentment. Not fireworks, a steadier baseline. You're about to see 8 of them, and none of them require money, willpower, or a life overhaul. Let's start with the one most people underestimate. The first habit is stepping into sunlight within the first hour of waking. When morning light hits your eyes, it signals a small cluster in your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, your internal clock. That signal sets the timing for cortisol and melatonin, the hormones that regulate your alertness and mood. You get a small, natural spike of dopamine and serotonin in response, not a rush, a quiet lift. This is why people who walk outside in the morning tend to describe their days as feeling more level. The way to apply it is almost too simple. 10 minutes outside without sunglasses within an hour of waking, ideally before screens. Coffee on the porch counts. That single habit sets the tone chemically for everything that follows. The second habit is moving your body before you feel like it. Not a workout, movement. A walk, some stairs, 5 minutes of stretching. When you move, your brain releases BDNF, a protein that acts almost like fertilizer for new neural connections. Movement also lowers cortisol, the stress hormone that keeps your mind stuck in low-grade worry. The interesting part is that motivation follows action here, not the other way around. Your brain rewards movement after you begin, not before. So the trick is lowering the bar. 2 minutes counts, standing up and walking to the window counts. You're not chasing fitness, you're pressing a chemical reset button your brain was waiting for. The third habit is naming what you feel, out loud or on paper. This one sounds soft, but brain scans show something specific. When you label an emotion in words, activity in the amygdala, your brain's threat center, actually decreases. Neuroscientists call this affect labeling. Putting language on a feeling shifts the processing from the emotional brain to the prefrontal cortex, the calmer, more rational region behind your forehead. The application is a single sentence a day. I'm feeling anxious about the meeting. I'm feeling flat, not sure why. You're not fixing anything. You're translating the feeling into words, and that translation itself lowers its intensity. Most people try to argue with their feelings. That rarely works. Labeling them, without judgment, works almost every time, because you're using the calm part of your brain to acknowledge the loud part. The fourth habit is doing one small thing for someone else with no return expected. Not grand gestures, a message, a door held, a genuine compliment. When you give without calculating, your brain releases oxytocin, often called the bonding chemical, along with a soft dopamine reward. This is why kindness feels quietly satisfying even when no one thanks you. Your nervous system registers connection, and connection is one of the strongest predictors of long-term well-being. Try one intentional act of small kindness a day. Notice how it lands in your body afterward. That warm, settled feeling is your brain writing a new default. And here's the quiet twist. The person who benefits most, chemically, is usually you. Kindness given without expectation is one of the cleanest mood boosters your brain has access to. The fifth habit is the one that changes people the most, and it's also the one most people skip. It's protecting your sleep like it's a meeting you can't reschedule. Sleep is when your brain literally rinses itself. During deep sleep, a system called the glymphatic system clears out metabolic waste that builds up during the day. Skip sleep, and that waste accumulates, showing up as brain fog, irritability, and a shorter emotional fuse. You don't need 8 perfect hours. You need consistency. Same rough sleep window, same wind-down routine, screens dimming before bed. Your brain rewards rhythm more than duration. The sixth habit is deep, slow breathing when your day tightens. Not meditation, just breathing where the exhale is longer than the inhale. This directly activates the vagus nerve, which shifts your nervous system out of fight or flight and into a calmer state. Within about 90 seconds of slow breathing, your heart rate variability improves and cortisol begins to drop. That's not mystical, it's mechanical. Your body has a built-in off switch, and breath is the lever. Try this. Inhale for 4 counts, exhale for 6. Do it 4 times before a hard conversation, a stressful email, or right when you notice your shoulders climbing. You're teaching your brain that stress is something you can walk down from, not something that runs you. The seventh habit is limiting the tiny, constant hits of dopamine your phone hands you. Every scroll, every ping, every red notification triggers a small dopamine release. That sounds fine, except your brain adapts. When you flood the reward system all day with easy micro hits, real life starts to feel dull by comparison. Reading a book feels boring. A conversation feels slow. That's not a personality trait, it's a chemistry problem. The fix isn't quitting your phone, it's creating quiet stretches. 30 minutes in the morning without it, a walk without earbuds, meals without scrolling. You're letting your dopamine baseline reset so ordinary life stops feeling flat. Think a bit like taste. If everything you eat is heavily sweetened, real fruit tastes bland. Your reward system works the same way. Give it space, and small pleasures come back. And the eighth habit is the quiet one that ties everything together. It's the practice of noticing what's already going well, on purpose, once a day. This isn't forced positivity. It's a specific neural training. Your brain has a natural negativity bias. It evolved to scan for threats, not for what's fine. Left alone, it will replay problems and skip past small good moments. When you deliberately notice 3 specific things that went right today, a conversation, a small win, a moment of ease, you're strengthening the neural pathways that spot good things automatically. Repeat it for a few weeks and your default lens starts to shift. The trick is specificity. Not, I'm grateful for my family. That's abstract. Try, the way my kid laughed at dinner. Concrete images stick. Abstractions fade. Now step back and look at these 8 together, because that's where the real pattern lives. Morning light, movement, naming feelings, small kindness, protected sleep, slow breath, dopamine hygiene. Noticing what's good, none of them are dramatic. None of them require you to become someone new. That's the point. Happiness at the brain level isn't built by big events. It's built by repetition, the same small inputs laid down over weeks until your baseline quietly moves. If you've been waiting for a mood to arrive, this is the reframe. You don't chase happiness. You build the conditions, and your brain does the rest. You probably already do 1 or 2 of these without noticing. That's worth acknowledging. Start there, not with all 8. If you had to pick one to begin tomorrow, which one would it be? Morning light, the phone reset, or the 3 specific things at night? Tell me in the comments. I read them, and the answers usually surprise me. If this way of thinking about your brain clicks with you, there's a video on the screen soon about the neuroscience of dopamine and why modern life feels so restless. It pairs with this one well. And if you're new here, this channel is built around one idea: practical brain habits, grounded in real neuroscience, no hype. If that's the kind of company you want on your feed, subscribe and turn on notifications so the next one finds you. Because happiness, in the end, isn't the personality. It's a pattern, and patterns are built one small habit at a time.